Bernie Sanders trying to one-up the president on drug pricing with a new bill that would strip patent rights from drug companies if their prices are considered excessive. President Trump says he wants a bipartisan effort to lower drug prices, but is eliminating patent rights on drugs going a little too far.
Look,
yes! Sorry, I know that
you jumped out of the gate.
My God, yes!
No, look, I mean, if you want to destroy, if you care about finding a cure for Alzheimer's, MS, epilepsy, all of these, Parkinson's. Yeah, you want to give the companies an incentive to win the race for the cure. What Bernie Sanders wants is just to lose the race for the cure.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't let there be.
No.
You
That was a pregnant pause.
And I know Steve was supposed to answer first, but my goodness. I mean, look, this is the reality of socialism, right? They don't get that people actually have to work hard to come up with these things that then everybody loves.
And the profit motive, right?
Yes.
It's the profit motive.
Why would you work so hard to create a drug if you don't get a little something for it? I mean, if somebody else can just reverse engineer it immediately because you have no copyright or patent protection, then it's not worth it. And we're not going to have that kind of creativity and all that sort of fuel to our drug industry if we don't have the patents, for goodness sakes.
Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but
oh my gosh,
in one small respect, Sanders has it right. Not on the government decides the price. That's just idiotic. But the whole reason drug prices are as high as they are is not the patents, it's the length of the patents. That after the patent expires, these governments petition to extend the patent, sometimes as many as another 2 or 3 years. That locks out the generics from coming in. It's the generics
how do we know
that bring the price down. So you just can't have these patents extend for 50, I'm making this up, 50, 60 years. That's the problem. Sanders has that part right, but not the part on deciding, well, the government will decide based on the price.
Well, I was going to say, how do you know what the right length of a patent is? I mean, I'm in favor of 15-year patents.
Well,
I mean,
less than in perpetuity. That would be my one goal.
You're a drug
a lot of these drug manufacturers have.
And you're spending billions of dollars in research and R&D to come up with these drugs and these cures. I think actually it's going to bring down drug prices, but not here in America. Look what's happening elsewhere. I mean, at the end of, the people you help will not be Americans.
Well, price controls, one thing, again, that economists agree on is that price controls cause shortages. So the price controls would cause shortages. Stripping away patent rights would create a dearth of new drugs. They just wouldn't be there because people wouldn't make the huge investments. So what would happen? We'd end up with a world without these life-saving drugs that America produces.
And here's the problem in a nutshell. Americans pay the full cost of the drugs, and all the other countries are free riders, so they pay much lower prices. And then they say, see, we pay less for health care than you do. That's because they're free riding on our innovation. And Trump's got to get tough with these countries and say, you have to honor our patents because that leads to more innovation.
There's the other thing about Bernie's plan, which gets me, is the idea of what is excessive. That means you would... Now, we've seen examples of it. I mean, there have been drug companies that obviously take advantage of their particular expertise or their patent and everything, and they're terrible, but that's the role of the press. If you have a committee that decides how much a drug or any other product is worth, you're going to have a mess, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. You are going to have a mess. I want to go back to something you just said, though. Steve mentioned that the countries need to start paying and honor, forgive me, honor our patents.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. What about the drug companies themselves? What about the American drug companies? Why are they selling it on the cheap?
All right.